For the first time in history, China's two biggest technology groups posted a decline in income as the country faces extraordinary boom hurdles and an unsure outlook. But 2,000 miles away, even greater challenges anticipate one of Southeast Asia's largest companies. Sea, which operates online games and e-commerce portals, stated increase of 29%, the slowest in almost 5 years. We tend to suppose of income growth as higher than a decline. However, in Singapore-based Sea's case, every dollar introduced in through its e-commerce business is dropping money. At least Tencent and Alibaba have continued to return income even when the top line shrinks. Rising global inflation and unstable financial growth spurred Sea in May to trim its full-year revenue forecast for e-commerce, which bills for around 52% of the company's complete sales, with the aid of $400 million, roughly 3,200 rupees crore, to a value of $8.5 billion, roughly 67,800 rupees crore, to $9.1 billion, roughly 72,600 rupees crore. This month it threw out that instruction entirely. In our efforts to adapt to growing macro uncertainties, we are proactively moving our techniques to similarly center of attention on efficiency and optimization for the long-term power and profitability of the e-commerce business. Management seems to have realized that buying unprofitable income isn't always a sustainable commercial enterprise model, but selecting no longer to do so makes predicting the future almost impossible. In some online groups, such as e-commerce and deliveries, corporations have a positive electricity to hit top-line targets by boosting marketing, using enticements and subsidies to entice customers to spend money. Investors ought to assume of this is false growth, and we saw it in the early days of ride-hailing and the meals transport when companies provided spending vouchers and reductions to get clients to use their platforms even when every incremental transaction lost money. By contrast, real growth would have every bite carry income to the issuer even if structural prices such as administrative group of workers imply the corporation loses money overall. Sea's e-commerce growth over the previous few years, while impressive, has been largely false growth. Meanwhile, its digital enjoyment business, which consists of 44% of revenue, fell 12% in the second quarter as COVID-driven stay-at-home spending petered out. In many ways, Sea is a cross between Alibaba and Tencent, which are China's biggest e-commerce and gaming companies respectively. Continued lockdowns, a crackdown on internet companies, rising inflation, a brewing loan disaster and heightened geopolitical tensions are all weighing on China's gross home product outlook. While the authorities' pursuits growth of 5.5% this year, the consensus in a Bloomberg survey of economists is for a figure of 3.8%. Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated and Nomura Holdings Incorporated are the trendy to reduce their forecasts. Tencent this week pronounced a 3% decline in revenue, greater than expected, and reduce around 5% of its team of workers after advertising slumped by a record. Earlier in the month, Alibaba additionally published a drop in sales. Net profits at both companies fell. However, at least they remained profitable. Sea's outlook is less clear. Its Shopee service is the top-ranked e-commerce app in Indonesia, Taiwan and Southeast Asia overall, in accordance to the company, yet the monetary fortunes of its key markets remain unstable. Indonesia, Southeast Asia's greatest economy, is taking part in strong boom spurred through an enlargement in exports fueled through commodity fee increases. Yet inflation leaves open the prospect of hobby charge rises that could impede client spending. Singapore earlier this month reduced its GDP forecast by using 1 proportion point, whilst Taiwan, Asia's sixth largest economy, has trimmed its boom outlook twice this year due to the fact of slowing demand for patron electronics and lower personal consumption. The Asian Development Bank has additionally decreased its 2022 and 2023 GDP increase forecasts for Thailand and Malaysia. With little prospect that the broader financial system will enhance and stress on patron spending increasing, sees possibilities of posting speedy income expansion and subsequently turning worthwhile look more and more out of reach. That's pressured management to make some hard choices, and growth is set to be sacrificed as a result. It's the form of fiscal self-discipline traders ought to cheer. However, first they shall need to be given a greater tepid income pace. Copyright 2022 Bloomberg LP